start coming to the earth, plagues, all right, the sword, famine, okay, war, pestilence, that's when you gonna be ashamed, okay? That's when you gonna know, like, damn, you're not gonna have any confidence whatsoever.
You're not gonna have a covering.
No covering, okay? Who are you gonna call on? Well, the scripture says go call on the other gods that you worship. Okay? Go to seek the gods that you believed in. Go to Esau. Now, hey, a lot of our people worship this man. His science. Okay? And that's going to be a shame unto you. Shameful.
When the scriptures say that your sins shall be your accusers in that day, that's even before, you're gonna feel that shame and contempt in the kingdom. But even before that, when you're going through that hell, and you, like you said, you're gonna try to call on the name of the Lord, and nothing's gonna be happening. You're not gonna be getting delivered from those tribulations, from those calamities. You're gonna be getting overtaken, and you're gonna feel that the Lord is separate from you, and you're gonna begin to feel that shame right then and there.
Yeah, when that reality sets in, that's when they're gonna really do a thorough self-examination. Even though it's too late.
Too late.
You're gonna think far back to all the things that you know you've done.
The Lord gonna put that shit.
That you didn't think that the Lord was gonna remember.
Right.
You know?
I always imagine, the Lord just might put like vivid images of, things that's happened, things that's been said in their minds at that moment.
The Lord gonna do that. Yeah. You know, like y'all they say, when your light flash before your eyes, that type of deal. The Lord gonna put all that shit that you're scoffing. You're denying the truth, your lazy mindedness.
Inward thoughts.
Your inward thoughts. The Lord gonna put it all.
Well, how Jake gonna know to be ashamed? So they're gonna be ashamed in the kingdom. So they're gonna know. They're gonna know what their past sins were.
Yup.
Yeah, brother.
You got one too?
Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up.
Start the top up, Kisha. That's the top. That's the top. All right, okay. Select.
Daniel 12:1.
Yeah.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince that standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
The elect say, read that part again. That last verse.
At that time?
And at that time, people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
And that's talking about how the scriptures say you have Israel, and then you have the Israel of the Most High. That's thy people that it's talking about. All Israelites is not going to be saved in this time, man, because not all Israelites is living the same way. You have those who are acknowledging the Lord and considering His ways, and you got those who are doing their own thing.
God, and it's gonna get so bad that the angels are gonna have to intervene, man. There's gonna have to be divine interventions. Okay, miracles are gonna have to be performed for the elect's sake to rescue them out of this situation.
Yeah, Archangel Michael, he's right under Yahweh Shah, so he's like a general, You got today Esau's army, you got generals, but when it's a time of war, you got war generals, that goes out into battle, Yep. So all them archangels, and Michael, man, it's gonna be a terrible day.
Yep. And it's gonna be a terrible day for those of our people who were preserved until the end, just for the angel to go put in that work on them, man. And then those individuals are more than likely the ones who claim to be Israelites, who knew, who were out here supposedly prophesying, doing the work, but like we said, inwardly, they're wicked as hell.
Right. And those whose names is not written in the book of life, all the angels know who's of the Lord's and who isn't. All right, like for example, going back to ancient Egypt, and we in the Passover, the angels knew what households to pass over because the blood lamb was on the post, the doorpost. right? The blood of the Lamb was on the doorpost, so they knew to avoid that house. The elect right now have the blood on their doorposts. Their names are written in heaven. So when Jacob's trouble happens, the angels are gonna know who to keep protected and who not to keep protected. The elect, so that's how you're gonna know who is who. Then shall it be known whom are my chosen. Because they're gonna be tried, but the Lord's gonna make sure he preserved it. He's gonna preserve them through it. The elect are gonna be getting that divine protection treatment, like basically divine secret service.
Yeah.
All right. While the rest of the nation is gonna be getting jacked up, slaughtered,
Yeah, energy.
dying of famine,
Gone.
getting chopped down by Esau military, the super soldiers, the robots, wild beasts.
Gone.
Pestilence.
Yeah, that's why I said in Isaiah that basically a man shall be as a covert from the tempest,
Tempest, hiding place.
as a hiding place from the wind.
Yeah, because go ahead. No, you good.
I was just gonna add to his brother's point, you know, because he was speaking about that Passover during the time of Egypt. That act of putting that blood on the doorpost represent obedience.
Yeah.
And the Most High, he sees who's actually trying, who's putting in that effort in a time of chaos, in a time of all this temptation, and we can easily be doing anything by us observing the high holy days, rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the Sabbath, all of that. We doing our best in this corruptible flesh, and the Lord sees that. None of our works is gonna go in vain.
And by that time, of course, the MOTB is already going to be implemented. So that's a clear that's a clear
Line of separation.
man, between those, whom the Lord is kept for himself, and those who swore allegiance to the beast.
Gone.
Okay.
I was gonna mention too, Goshen, right? Darkness was all around, but a light remained within Goshen, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Because that's where Israel dwelt at.
Exactly.
When we was in Egypt.
Yeah, people are gonna see the difference between. Okay, it's really gonna be known who, like the brother said, who are the Lord's chosen, right? Because there's gonna be something that distinguishes them from the rest. Okay, which is protection. Okay, also the fact that there's gonna be a famine. Okay, the men of the Lord are gonna be fed. Okay, they're gonna have to drink. Okay, they're not gonna go with needy like the rest of the people. So that there's gonna be various signs that let people know. Okay, these there's something going on here. Okay, these men. And everybody's gonna know, like, okay, these had to be those men that were out there, right?
Clear difference, right?
These were them that were out there.
Especially the women.
Yeah. They're gonna see it.
That's how a lot of the women are gonna notice, because they're gonna be in danger, right? They're gonna take notice to how you're in your sanity.
Yep.
You're like one of the only ones that have stability.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is just losing their mind. Because even when it talks about Jacob's trouble, it says, "Go to now and see if you see a man travailing like a woman in travail."
Yeah, the 6th verse. Yeah.
Like a woman travailing like a woman with child. Everybody have their hands upon their loins.
Yeah.
So even the men are the most mighty men are going to be terrified. But the elect, there's going to be some kind of calmness and peace about them.
And women can sniff out stability and safety and security. They can sniff that out.
Yeah.
They can tell.
It's going to be a difference, like the brother's saying. The Lord's going to draw a line of separation.
Those are all forms of power. They sniff out power like gold, like Jake sniff out weed in the air, bro. Like it's clear to them.
They're gonna know that a man of the Lord has a plan. We don't know what that plan is gonna. We don't, but he has some insight on what to do in this situation, in that situation. When everyone else is gonna be looking for answers, everyone else is gonna be looking for a plan. Like, oh damn, he knows to.
Where he going?
Yeah, where's he going? How's he able to have water, and why is he so calm? And you know, the man of the Lord in that
How
day
he
is
moves
going to
so
have
fast.
some type of plan according to the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah.
And you ain't gonna be able to when those men are being protected, you're not gonna be able to do nothing evil against them. You ain't gonna try, you know, because like they showed you in what's that the book of Eli.
Yeah. Yep.
Women were even being used to set traps. That's not gonna work on the true men of the Lord.
Nope.
Because their discernment levels is gonna be damn near angelic.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to fool us.
The spirit's gonna be turned up on all the elect in that day.
God, you can't even fool us now. How much more in those times? Because we're gonna be knowing who's sincere and who's not. Who, you know?
If I can get this quick scripture though, because we talking about this line of separation, right? In that day, going back to ancient Egypt, Exodus 9:4. This is in the NLT. It says, I'll start at 2. It says, if you continue to hold them and refuse to let them go, the hand of the Lord will strike all your livestock, your horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats with a deadly plague. But the Lord will again make a distinction between the livestock of the Israelites and that of the Egyptians. Not a single one of Israel's animals will die.
Hey,
Right.
that's a miracle. That is whatever cause that has it. I mean, he's not a racist though. He hit a particular race. Notice how I hit a certain race and didn't touch his favorite race.
Yeah.
That's racism.
It's favoritism.
Yep.
He has a favorite people, man. Why is that so hard to understand? We have favorite things, favorite this, favorite that, but the Most High can't have a favorite.
Yeah, racism is the way they exaggerate the connotation behind racism. They make it seem as if it's entirely evil.
Yep.
They set the precedent for it.
Right. See, there's nothing wrong with me being preferential when it comes to my people, my nation.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
We can coexist and hey, you got access to water, I got access to water. You got resources, I got resources, but I'm doing it amongst my own.
Yeah.
You got it where you at with your people. There's nothing wrong with that. Esau made it into what we talk about today.
Because we won't share with him.
And,
It was cool when he wasn't sharing with us. But now that we got something we won't share with him, now he get upset about it. That's why this thing is so pure still, well, amongst the great millstone. Once you start venturing out to Israel, you can tell the people been compromised by the spirit of the devil, man. Just like the Edomites are. You still got more?
Yeah. This is Exodus 8:22. It says, but this time I will spare the region of Goshen, where my people live. No flies will be found there. Then you will know that I am the Lord and that I am present even in the heart of your land.
You gonna jump to 11 and 7?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that after this next verse.
Yep.
Exodus 10:23. It says, during all that time the people could not see each other because of the darkness, and no one moved, but there was light as usual where the people of Israel lived.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because, hey, when you're the favorite and you give favoritism, it feels great, especially when you deserve it.
Yeah.
So
But that-
it
but-
sucks for everybody else.
But having that favoritism, it makes you want to do good. Makes you want to continue to do what you've been doing to get that preferential treatment.
You don't remember when your teacher be like, whoever finished their homework and get an A+ on their test can have a pizza party or ice cream, and there was only like 3-4 people out the class that can do it, and you happen to be one of them. That felt good.
Yeah.
You know, versus everybody else, get your food, they all mad and don't get none. Well, it's important that this is that same type of situation. It's not far off from that. But the standard is way higher. It's okay to drive. Yeah, you're fine. You had another, right?
Yeah. Exodus 11:7 in the NLT.
Yep.
And it says, but among the Israelites, it will be so peaceful that not even a dog will bark. then you will know that the Lord makes a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites.
Right.
Yep.
So that's what it means by he has set a difference between an Egyptian and Israel.
Yeah.
I know years ago,
Yeah.
brothers used to break it down to mean, well, yeah, Hamite and an Israelite, we look similar, but the Lord made a difference. So that's how you know that we're separate, we're different from the Hamites.
But that's
And it's understandable
Right.
why you would apply it that way, but this is the true context of what it means. All right?
it can be applied because because we would use it, you know, remembering how we used to use it. We would use it in the understanding. It was like a quick
Because we
cut.
was able to blend in with the Egyptians.
Right. And we countless of times that our people would go down into Egypt and just blend and be dark skinned amongst everybody else. But this shows you that there's a clear racial, I'm using that, but a clear distinction between the two.
And it was racial.
It was racial.
Mesmerite,
It is racial.
yeah, this was an act of violence
How these black people
against
ain't get in touch, but
this
these black people get in touch.
this black race over this black race.
Yeah.
You know, that he happened to choose as his people.
God, and there's when there's a certain race ruling over another race of people, and why the class, the race that's ruling over the other people, what do they got to be safe from?
Right.
They're the ones doing the oppression, the oppressing. They're the ones that are in the power seat.
But brother, there was a mixed multitude. They came through. They received the salvation. Yeah, none of them made it out of the wilderness. None of them walked into the Holy Land.
Yeah, they died, man.
They died off.
Yeah.
You know? And this time, ain't not one heathen coming. Not one. Only the elect are going to make this time, because not even all of Israel is coming this time.
How much more? How much less? Did I say?
And that's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the Lord put the difference between the Egyptian and Israel. Well, in this case, the Lord's going to put a difference between Israel and the elect Israel, the Israel of the Most High.
We ain't gonna have to worry about murmuring, our own people murmuring and all this other stuff.
That's why the Lord had to sift Jake in the damn wilderness.
And also, they like to use Balaam, right? Balaam, he was a prophet, right? But the Lord made, at the end of the story, the Lord made Moses kill Balaam, man.
Yep.
You know, so you gotta read the whole story, man. You know?
That's it.
And his brothers all got priests.
I got a picture.
First, as just to show that, you know, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua has his favorite and everything, you know. It was first Esdras 5:22. And my soul recovered the spirit and understanding. I began to talk with the Most High Yahweh again and said, O Yahweh, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one only vine. And of all the land of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit. And of all the flowers thereof, one lily. And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled there one river. And of all the hidden cities, has hallowed Zion unto thyself. Which is Israel.
Yep.
You know, we are his chosen people.
Right? That was never taught. That was never taught until the Israelites came in the picture, man.
Right.
Until the Israelites came back into the remembrance. Okay, it was always taught that God loves everybody. All nations can make it. Right? All nations are gonna be in the kingdom, and we're all gonna sing Kumbaya and hold hands.
Bro, and that right there, it's actually sweet knowing that that the Lord is only dealing with Israel, but to the world, that's a savor unto death.
Yeah.
It's a savor to us. It's a savor unto life. To them, it's a savor unto death.
They don't want to go because of that.
Yeah. And after this devil enslaved, conquered, colonized, destroyed, pillaged, he did everything in the name of Christianity, and you hold him to the highest form of
Respect
religion and reverence.
They ready to forgive Esau right away.
Yeah.
He ain't changed.
No.
Jake willing to cast off their own salvation just to give him a seat.
I don't want to get on the chariot of Esau, you know.
Yeah.
That's the type of spirit our people have.
And we're telling you the man who did all this is getting ready to get judged and brought down and retributed, and you come against the truth.
Right.
That's a sickness, man.
Yep.
Like that dude Ringo, that's one of the reasons why he got offended. He still had a soft spot in his heart for Esau and the nations. That's why he don't want to be an Israelite no more, because the rest of the nations can't be a part of it.
Because
You a
it's
fucking
like,
clown, man.
it's like he was searching through all the Israelites looking for the one that had the doctrine that can make sense on that breakdown without any refuting, and it's not there.
Man.
So now he just gonna give up the whole idea. Think about that. And like that analogy you just made about giving your seat up, you gotta imagine, say you're on the subway or the train or whatever, and you see an old lady, you get up, oh, you go ahead and sit down. Well, that's how you act with E. You really willing to give up the seat like he a worthless old lady. This dude, as soon as you stand up, he gonna stick you in your fifth rib and push you off the train.
Yeah.
That's the mentality he's in.
Right. They're in our people are in an abusive relationship, man. They don't know how to escape it.
Yep.
They don't know how, they're just
Can't just leave.
just so used to it.
Yep.
They don't know any better. Okay, this man whoops on them. He pimps them out.
Yep.
He poisons them. All kinds of shit. He rapes them.
He's lied to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the brother was saying, man, Jake, they got a fucking, like it's a mental disease. It's like a woman, like she getting beat, but she think that by her getting beat, that's him showing that he love her.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's a psychological operation, man, that's been carried out against our people.
Yep.
And it worked on most of us for the longest time. If it wasn't for the Lord, hey, when man rose up against us, man, when the floods, so I believe it's in Psalms, if it wasn't of the Lord, man, we would have been overcame by this flood. Because this devil unleashed a flood of wickedness on us, man. From all angles. Fucking attacks from everywhere. You know, not only physical, but mental.
Spiritually.
And it's gonna be beautiful in Jacob's trouble. That tension already exists between Jacob and Esau and these other nations. It's gonna be amplified.
Yep.
It's gonna intensify even more during Jacob's trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, you already got in Ohio. Hey, this shit is hot up there. Them neo-Nazis and them Jakes formalizing these are groups, revolutionary groups to stand against those neo-Nazis up there. Come on, man. This is only the beginning of what was getting ready to happen, man. So all that, we gotta save Esau, we gotta save the other nations. They can make it. You gonna see firsthand. You niggas gonna get to see it firsthand, man. And this devil, he could be the biggest Christian ever.
Right.
He could tote the Bible in your face. He can do all that. But when that day come, he gonna be looking to put a bullet between your eyes, man.
Right.
Especially when it comes down to the last piece of bread. It's gonna be him and his before you. These niggas can't get it through their heads, man.
Good neighbor, you go shooting with your neighbor. Y'all go hunting together. Y'all go to the park and grill food together. Like you said, he gonna put a bullet in your head when that day comes, man. Do y'all not remember back in the the civil rights area, and even beyond, they used to go to church and then get out of church and go put them KKK masks on.
Yep.
Right, all the Edomites that y'all are inviting to the barbecue, man. All right, when the shit goes down, when the shit hits the fan, hey, what's this? Ain't no love out here.
Hey, the Mormons.
Right.
Yeah, Mormons got the tie on with the white shirt with the name tag, elder.
Yeah,
blah blah blah, elder Nehemiah or some shit. Yeah, Joseph Smith. You gonna be riding a bike, dumping at you, niggas, man. Justin, why you riding a horse? Mormons, they a fucking gang, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a quick one real quick. This Jeremiah 4:30. It's in the NLT. It says, "What are you doing? You who have been plundered. Why do you dress up in beautiful clothing and put on gold jewelry?" Comparing Israel to a woman. "Why do you brighten your eyes with mascara? Your primping will do you no good. The allies who are your lovers despise you and seek to kill you."
Con,
That's these other nations, man.
Right, these people that you think love you, nah. when this thing collapses, their true colors is gonna show. They're gonna try to eat you.
Yeah.
Put you on the grill.
The Lord's just basically gonna take off the docile spirit of Esau. You know, the docile spirit ain't on the top of these. You know, but you regular working class Edomites, that docile spirit gonna be taken off you, and you're gonna basically be subjected to know that you hate us.
And it's really starting to show now, with their king, DJ.
Yep, Nero.
You know, and so they're really starting to come out now out the closet. That spirit is once again, it's been awakened in them. Hey, you know what? Yeah, F these people. You know, they're really showing it. They're very proud right now. Okay, and it's starting with the northern kingdom, and little by little, it's gonna move to the southern kingdom. All right. Nobody gonna be safe out here from this devil.
Everybody is an op
Yeah.
to Israel.
Pretty much.
We really don't have any allies, man.
Nope.
Jake, they just still don't understand that because they're still mentally in captivity. They think as long as they can just coexist in the world, they'll be able to have a bite to eat, get day to day. There's nothing to it.
Entertainment.
They get entertained.
Okay.
This devil might give them a little opportunity, you know.
And it's not us just fear mongering, man. This is all backed up by the scriptures. This is all Bible prophecy. Okay, you're not gonna hear this in the church. You gotta come out here and face reality, face the truth. The Lord is speaking right now, all right, through His man. Okay, you gotta come out here and stand before the prophets to hear the real true message of the scriptures. That according to Bible prophecy, man, it's gonna get very ugly out here very soon. Okay, just the fact, one of the reasons is that we're out here. Okay, the Lord, before He judges, He sends out His men to warn. Okay, and it's been years. It's been years. The apostles, their elders. Okay, the warning. Hey, the warning's been out. It's on the internet. We got the internet. Okay, so without even trying, you just might run into a GMS video. You know?
The truth is flooding the earth right now.
Yeah. The Lord opened up the water ways in places where it was dry once upon a time. You know? Because He's seen that, hey, his men were thirsty. Thirsty. You know? We should be thirsting after this. Because this is the waters, man. They're gonna give you eternal life. Okay?
I got Sirach 12:10. It's in the GNT. It says, "Never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust." And you know, you got to know who your enemy is. You know, we talking about Esau, but also these other nations too. Like the brother said, man, you everybody your op. These other nations too. You know, Aki at the corner store, just because you make your gyro real fire, don't mean that's your friend, man. Brother. The Chinese dude, they put extra rice in your shit, extra meat. That's not your friend, because when it come down to it, they gonna stand for their own.
Fucking Habibi.
Yeah.
You know?
You put some camel in your shit, and Moab, he'll put some he'll put some raccoon or some shit in your box.
That's why they
put dog in cat.
You think you eating fucking orange chicken?
Yeah.
No, man.
They'll piss in your.
Bro, you seen that?
Yeah, you saw that restaurant,
bro,
right?
they pissed in the hot pot soup, bro.
Yeah,
That's the nigga Chinese restaurants.
Yeah, they'll piss in your shit and serve it to you.
You wonder why you don't never see no shipment coming in at the Chinese store. There was one video, they opened somebody caught them on video, they opened the truck, and you seen a bunch of skinned cats. They was taking them in.
Yep.
And there was another one, they had the water source from the toilet.
Yeah.
There was a line going from the toilet all the way to where they give you water.
Yeah, Apostle Tahar said, I ain't eating no Chinese food from the kingdom.
Hey, I eat Chinese food like Benihana's or some shit.
Yeah.
I know nigga Chinese.
Yeah, real shit. Where they making it in front of you, where or you. I went to a Chinese food place this week and they had the clear glass where you can see them cooking this shit. Even though you don't know, at the same time you don't know what the hell they cooking because they throw all kind of seasoning on that shit.
I stay away from any meat out of them spots.
Yeah.
For real. It's the safest thing, and it ain't safe, but the safest is rice and vegetables.
Yeah,
you should know what those are like.
Steamed vegetables, rice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Stir fry type
The
shit.
point is, don't trust these other nations, man. Don't trust these people that they're not your people. We're not the same. Verse 11. Watch out and be on guard against them, even if he acts ever so humble. He is like a metal mirror, that rusts. Excuse me. He is like a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. Seek an enemy at your right hand, and the next thing you know, he'll be trying to get your own place of honor. Put him next to you, and he will overthrow you. Then you will realize the truth of my words and be stung with regret when you remember them.
Right, that's like we're saying, it's talking about all the nations, but in particular, man, there's just one nation that really got it in for us. All right, and he's coming up with a plan. It's already in the works. It's already set up to snare us, to trap us, make us, have us on our knees, begging.
And you know what? That same wicked ass spirit can be in our people.
Oh. Yeah, because we know historically, and even now today, we see that sometimes, most of the time, you gotta be looking out for your people, man. They're the ones robbing each other. They're the ones shooting each other over the dumb shit, scheming, plotting.
I got two I got 2 points. One of them is with our own, it's really the elect versus everybody else. And everybody else is an enemy. So figuring out who the elect are, who has that type of contrite spirit about them, humble spirit about them, is who you're really looking for, the meek, right? Because meekness isn't something that's just beheld in the earth today. Everybody wants to exalt themselves. The other point was, I've seen two situations, and this is where Jake get confused, but we gotta be sharper.
Right.
I remember being at a barbecue, and there was a Muslim there, and he told everybody, I don't eat pork and all of that. They said, no, I got yours on this side of the grill. And then I got, then everybody else on this side. Like, all right, as soon as he walked off, he took when he was putting sauce on there, let me get you another thing to my little mop, to put the mop on my side. I go, I got you. You went and cleaned him up one, brought it over there, stuck it right on the pork, put it on his, looked right at it as soon as he turned his back. That was family, by the way. The other thing was, I know Edomite guy that was like, hey man, come get some barbecue, man. We got steaks and all of that. Go over there, and guess what else is on the grill? Lobster and all kind of shit. Yeah, no, man. Here, have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Because they don't give a fuck. Even when they're good, they still evil to you. It seems like they're giving you something, but they're still being evil to you. So you got to have the presence of mind to know how to see and navigate that stuff. I don't even eat real family food like that no more. I went to a family gathering. I went to help them set up the thing at my father's house. Went to camp, came back. They barbecued a bunch of food. There was steaks and chicken and some pork. I come back, why only pork was left? At my own daddy's house. And I was like, nobody saved me nothing? I got to run through a damn drive-thru or something to get something to eat? That was the last time I ever went. So you're going to start realizing even your family's not going to be down with you. You're going to start separating yourself because they don't keep the same customs. They don't care like that.
And they're going to look at you a certain way because you do.
Yeah.
And they're going to...
I mean, just see.
Yeah, they're going to in their mind, they're gonna seem like, oh, he's better than us. But this, you can't. You've been eating pork this long. Your mama was raised on this. We were always raised on eating this or eating what's that shit called? A boil? Crawford boil.
Yep.
Like, nah, I don't eat that shit. Why? Because it says in the Bible. That's what, then you don't want to even get to that point where you got to cut your family out. Because we beyond that. Because these niggas ain't going to get it. Your family too.
That night. It
You know?
was like 12 at night. I packed my kids up and bounced. Because you got to think about it. Y'all brought all this pork to this. I didn't bring no pork. Y'all brought all this pork to here, but then y'all ate up all of the kosher shit. Think about that, bro.
Yeah.
You brought all of this, but you didn't even eat your own shit.
Look, right
Why
now,
don't you just bring some more chicken and beef?
Right.
right now, most of our families should know about us. Hey, he don't eat that. He don't eat this. They should know.
They should know that they shouldn't be eating it by now.
So if you're invited to a function, you show up, and they knowingly offer it to you, hey, that's a form of disrespect. Okay? That's they unknowingly are being a fucking devil. Okay? And we should be at a level right now where we can easily get around that. Like, hey, I don't touch that shit, man. Actually, it's very disrespectful. So, get it out of my face. Who cares? Hey, you gotta talk to people like that sometimes. When they know.
Yeah.
So, how much more when the time of trouble really comes?
Yep.
Okay? We gotta understand, we gotta be prepared to know that certain family members that we grew up with, that we have some type of connection with, we gotta know that the chances are that they're gonna turn, their wickedness is gonna turn up on them, man. Okay? And they're not gonna be your friends. Okay? They're gonna see you as an enemy.
They show they show their true colors right now, and there's no pressure, there's no type of it's easy right now, man.
Yep.
And they show you who they are. How much more when they worried about what they gotta eat, or they worried about their safety. I got Matthew 12 starting at 47. Then one said unto him, talking about Yahushua, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man, and we supposed to be in that same spirit as Yahushua, man. Hey, ain't nobody your kin, man. If they not living how we living, they don't believe what we believe in, fuck them, man. Straight up. And I got a testimony too, just because I was speaking on it. It must be the spirit. But the other day, it was my mother's birthday or whatever. So, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop over there, just to say what's up or whatever. My son was over there, visiting. So I get over there and she had grilled or whatever. And I didn't see it at first, but I looked, my son was eating. He eating a fucking rib. And I'm like, is you feeding him a rib? And she like, well, I didn't really think about it. But the thing is, I've had this conversation with my mother multiple times. She know what I do. She know I go, I teach the word. She know what I do. And I've asked her multiple times, do not feed him pork. She know what's up. So she made a conscious decision to feed my son, abomination. Needless to say, I took him and we left, and he won't be going over there no more. But it's just that, the point that brothers is making, man. These people, they know what we do, man. They, even if it's your family, man. If they not believing in what you believe in, that's not your real family, man.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
The New Testament is predicated on that. Maybe I got the wrong word, but it's set up that way because when you start reading into it, you start realizing it's not about all Israel like it was in the Old Testament. Yeah. It's about the believers out of Israel in the New Testament. That's the context the New Testament is written in.
And you want your family to get it. You want them to see as you see, but that's not reality. Nope. Like you get like brothers in the truth that's, like a few brothers in LA that's one's a cousin, that's another cousin. That's beautiful. But that's not gonna happen. That's the likelihood of that happening to you brothers here or any of us. This brother had his cousin, but the likelihood of that happening, of this brother and his father, that's not. It's rare.
That's an exception.
It's exception, yeah.
a rare.
It's a rare exception.
Absolutely.
The Lord said He was going to choose one of a family to a city, bring them to Zion. Yeah. If I could grab this one, Jeremiah 9:4 in the Amplified Bible. It says, "Let everyone beware of his neighbor, and do not trust any brother, for every brother is a supplanter, like Jacob, a deceiver ready to grab his brother's heel. And every neighbor goes around as a slanderer. Everyone deceives and mocks his neighbor, and does not speak the truth. And they have taught their tongues to speak lies. They exalt themselves with sin and cruelty. Your dwelling is in the midst of deceit." Basically, nobody's real with each other. But according to the law, you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. But Jake, they don't see themselves in each other. So they'll treat you any kind of way. They'll get over on you. They'll defraud you. They'll lie about you. You know what I mean? Like the brothers mentioning examples of, you know, if I love you, and I know that you carry yourself a certain way and you have certain principles and certain things you go by, I'm gonna respect that. Right. But if you just, I don't really care about that. Here's some pork, here's some swine. They make you. That's like, I don't smoke. You're supposed to be family, and I give you the reason why I don't smoke. But then you come every time you come around me, you smoking it, and now I got to deal with your secondhand smoke. Right. And then you don't care if my children are around, so they getting secondhand smoke.
Oh yeah, I forgot, man. My bad.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh man, I forgot. Man, I ain't smoked in 20 years, bro. Cut that shit out.
And that's just a testament to the deterioration of our people. The scriptures say that our people have become as a degenerate plant of a strange vine. So they don't know what it means to have integrity, to be morally pure. They don't understand that concept because they didn't intermingle with the devil and learn his ways. You know.
I have still. It's like I don't even read.
I think that I'll finish this last verse. It says, "Your dwelling is in the midst of deceit, oppression upon oppression, and deceit upon deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know and understand me, says the Lord." And that was it.
Yeah, I had Micah 7 and verse 6. "For the son dishonoreth the father, and the father rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and man's enemies are the men of his own house."
It's a free-for-all, man. Okay? It's a free-for-all in Jake's homes. The Jake house has been destroyed for decades now. Okay? The family has been broken apart. There is nothing holding the Jake family together. Okay?
Love holds it together, even in a time of war.
Yep. And so that sentiment is only increasing right now. We know the devil's putting the squeeze. Okay, he's squeezing homes even tighter right now. Okay, you got divorce rates. Okay, they're out the roof, man. The divorce rate. Okay, the amount of crime, domestic violence. That's way up. That's not going down.
You said divorce rates, right?
Divorce rates, and domestic violence. Okay, crimes of passion, adultery.
That's a lot of murder suicides.
A lot of that.
A lot of
Bro.
The pandemic really got it in their minds to have that energy.
Yeah. You got parents off and off their children, and then children off and off their parents. Okay? It's a dog-eat-dog world out here, man. Because of the like the brother said, the man who's ruling over us, that's how he gets down. So our people gravitated towards that.
Yeah, he's been operating off of hateful energy, hell, since since his inception. Yeah. But primarily when that birthright was supplanted from him. Yep. He's been operating off of a high level hatred since.
Yep.
Everything he does is based off of hatred. Even when he tries to mask it off as if it's something, you know, loving. He doesn't know how to like
He can't just
he
be cool.
he can't camouflage it. It's just gonna show.
The brother read it, right? His rust had not been all together
Wiped
away.
away.
That's his hatred that's on him.
Yeah.
His true spirit. That's what his bro. That's what his spirit is truly dialed in with. Hatred. That's why when he got the sword, he was like, "Ooh, perfect."
But this says Ezekiel 35. He had a perpetual hatred.
Yep.
Yeah, and that word perpetual means an undying, everlasting hatred. You know that this devil has for you Israelites. Hell, he even hates his own self. You know.
I got a quick one. This is Proverbs 12 and 26. It says, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduceth them." Yeah, and that's the problem. When the brother brought up, our people it's just as bad as Esau, if not worse now.
Seduced.
Yeah, fully seduced by that dog-eat-dog mentality, that hatred for one another.
Right.
And we know the curses is there too, but we're talking even in families. It's bad.
He used witchcraft. You know, what's that? Enchanted our people, man. Our people are under a spell. Okay, because he used Hollywood.
Yep.
He used education. He used music. All right. What else? He used food, education. You know, he put. You can't even put a number on the money that this devil has put down regarding our people to keep us in a down state. Okay, resources, man, manpower. Okay, he don't sleep. All right, he don't sleep unless he causes some to fall. Right?
Yep.
He works. What is it? He works mischief.
Yeah, he works mischief on his
bed,
bed.
man.
Around the clock.
Yeah.
This devil, he in bed
Dream about
thinking
me.
about how,
Jacob
you know, how. What else can I do, man?
24/7, man.
You know?
365. You know, I used to work at night, and I used to see them blowing chemtrails in the air at night. These devils won't sleep, man. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You can see the chemtrails off the light from the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So he ain't not about to sleep or take his foot off the gas by fulfilling this new world order. You know, he's serious about that. Man, this is Esau's one shot at what he thinks is eternity.
His last shot.
And this is all fueled by his hate. That never stops. It was perpetuating hatred. It's like a multi-millennial tantrum from E because he didn't get the blessing. That's what this is all about. That's basically what this is. And then while he, has been trying to fulfill himself, he's been instilling his hatred on you tribes as a result. He did all that in the process of it, man. So now, after he done performed all type of experiments on you tribes, look how fucked up and ruined you are. While you still have a soft spot for him. That's the brother said it. Y'all under a complete spell. It takes this truth to cast that spell off of you, breaking them strongholds. We freeing you by the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Right. Yeah. Like King David, when he played the harp, it took this a certain sound, right? Music, a song, a certain melody, a song to cast that demon, right?
Evil spirit, yeah.
This evil spirit side of that Jake. So it's the same thing right now. It takes this song, to finally break that spell, man.
Like the brother said, Esau working around the clock, and we have to balance it out. We got to be working around the clock too in righteousness, man, to combat that. Like it says, covering ourselves with that whole armor, us staying locked in, constantly reading the scriptures. It's not just about reading and doing lessons, but actually performing those works, putting that energy out there.
People should look around and recognize you just move different in the earth. I mean, you're not doing it to be for people to see. That's the beauty of it, really. I really try to move around to not be seen, and you still end up standing out. But against those that have a certain something else they're looking for, people will walk up to you like, you know something. I don't know what it is, but something special or something about you. Like, well, you know, you go, well, what do you mean by that? Just, you know something.
They know it's your job. Where the way you move, the way you react or don't react to certain things, they know that you're different. They know that you move different.
Don't react.
Don't react. Yeah, you know. They know why by, you know, when you do speak, the majority of the time it's not folly, it's knowledge. You're coming with some form of truth. Whether it, you know, you obviously don't bring out the truth at your job, but it's a truth in everything, you know. But
wisdom.
It's wisdom, yeah. So the world around you, as you continue to walk in this truth, and you walk in your heart, they're gonna understand and see that there's something different about it, you know. Like, you know, I heard people at my job ask me, why you don't move up? Why don't you go into management? I'm like, nah, that ain't for me, man. You know, but with you, as brothers grow in the truth, you're gonna see. You know, the world is gonna see. They're gonna see that light shining within you.
Yeah.
Matthew 5, I'll read 14 through 16. It says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Like the brother said, I try to move like to not be seen. And then that's most of us. You know, but you can't help it. You can't hide a light. It says, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick. And it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. You know, so it's our conduct, you know, all together. You don't even have to say anything. You don't have to have conversations with people. They know it. They notice it.
Yeah. Hey, personally, people in my job, you know, I don't let them in my business, my personal business. But there is times where they'll ask certain questions, and the natural response is to give that spiritual, biblical advice, answer. Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. You ask me a question about the Bible, I'm gonna tell you what it says. You know? Hey, it's up to you what you do with it.
I got something real quick. This is in the Amplified Bible. This is Philippians 2, starting at verse 14. It says, do everything without murmuring or questioning the providence of the Most High, so that you may prove yourselves to be blameless and guileless, innocent and uncontaminated, children of the Most High without blemish, in the midst of a morally crooked and spiritually perverted generation, among whom you are seen as bright lights, beacons shining out clearly in the world of darkness, holding out and offering to everyone the word of life, so that in the day of Yahushua I will have reason to rejoice greatly, because I did not run my race in vain nor labor without result.
So being amongst surrounded by these by our people who are not in a Gentile state of mind, okay, who are clearly sick, we know that, and so we should know, okay, you know, these people, they're sick.
Yep.
All right. What do you do? Hey, when someone's sick, really sick, you try not to go around them. You try to have as little contact as you can with them.
Okay.
You might offer a cure, which is, we know the cure. So we might throw it out there, right?
Okay.
So if it's for them to pick it up,
if they want to be healed,
right? You know,
some of them don't want to be healed.
They don't want to be healed. So those are the ones that we gotta stay away from. Okay, because next thing you know, you can get sick.
Yep. Misery love company.
Right? You can get sick, and I hate being sick, man. Okay?
Yeah.
It sucks, right?
Yeah.
So we know what it was like being in the old man, the old us. Fuck. I never again want to be like that again. Okay? I don't want to think like that. No, this is a horrible image of myself.
Real quick, if I may. John chapter 7, verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So just naturally, you're going to be speaking wisdom. Naturally, you're going to move differently. Naturally, you're just going to have better ideas and different things that's going on around the people that's without the understanding. You're going to apply how you move in the scriptures. You're going to apply that to how you move in the world, and people are going to start to notice the difference. Right now, they're so distracted with bread and circuses and fame and the internet and social media and whatever else that it don't look like much. They're starting to see, because it's starting a little squeeze is starting to happen, but as the squeeze gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and the veil is taken off of Jake's eyes, where they realize they're in trouble, that's when they're gonna see, when they're like, damn man, it hurt, I don't know. And they're gonna see you walking around head up and observing everything and ready to move.
God, we should have the wisdom right now to know how to use the scriptures with these people out here. Okay, these scriptures are used to uplift, to tear down, okay, to wound, to heal, to strengthen, okay, to give hope,
to reprove, to restore.
So we got to know how to use that, how to when and how to bring those things out to whoever is in front of us, okay? Because we got to know what kind of spirit they're in.
Let me read this real quick. Romans 15:4, to back up your point. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
God, the Lord, you know how much patience the Lord had with us? Right? How much, hey, it took a long time for me to finally get it. You know? So, patience, long suffering, those are things that we also got to use. All right, we can't just always be quick to dismiss someone.
I got a good one for you right now. Back you up. 2 Timothy 2:24. A servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but must be kind, be able to teach, and be patient with difficult people. Gently instruct those who oppose the truth. Perhaps the Most High will change those people's hearts, and they will learn the truth. Then they will come to their senses and escape from the devil's trap, for they have been held captive by him to do whatever he wants.
God, that is such a great victory, a spiritual victory, to be able to, with the power of the scriptures, you know, the power of the Holy Spirit and the true names, to be able to make someone like that return, to change the way they think, the way they operate, the way they live. Okay, that's a spiritual victory. That shows the power. That's power, man. Okay.
That's why Paul said, when it talks about this, not necessarily speaking with man's wisdom, but the demonstration of the power. I can speak something plain to you. I don't have to use eloquent speech. And he said, though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. And even though his words were more plain, but he was able to actually have listeners and foreigners that was listening, and even some of them that were being converted. They were being converted just based on the power of his words. That and really what it was the people that already had the word in them, it drew it forth out of them. And he didn't take and Paul didn't take any credit to it.
The seed was already planted.
You know?
And somebody could grab.
That's why he said Apollos water, I planted, but the Most High is who gave the increase.
Someone can grab Hebrews 4:12 for me. I'm gonna make an analogy of a movie, but you're gonna understand it. Whoever first one to get it can read it. Read it loud, please.
This is Hebrews 4:12.
Yep.
It says, this is King James. It says, for the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, even to the dividing asunder of the soul, spirit, and joints, in marrow. It says, and is discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart.
Now, the brother made a very good point. We should get to because the sword is the book, right? The spirit of the book. So we gotta be able to. It's a two-edged sword, so you can cut this way, you can cut that way. You can destroy and you can heal, right? You can tear down and you can build up. So being able to do that is a very high skill. Now, the analogy of a movie I was going to give you was in the movie The Animatrix, right? It's the cartoon that was in between part 1 and part 2 of the Matrix.
The anime version.
Right. And it was I think the episode is Last Flight of the Osiris. Now the man and woman, it was an Asian woman and a black Jake man. They went into like the temple to practice dojo or whatever, and they was in there practicing with swords, and they began to cut each other, but they were just cutting each other's clothes off. That's the type of skill you can develop with this word, without touching them. They was like the little right by her neck, but it just cut her shoulder sleeve, and her titties was exposed. You get the point. But that's what you gain out of these scriptures. You start to learn how to apply certain information and certain analogies and certain wisdom to heal people. You don't just give to anybody, though.
And then by doing that, you become one with the scriptures, because your opinion is not your opinion is what the scripture says.
Right.
Well, how do you feel? Like, it ain't about how I feel. This is what the scripture says. This is how I live my life by.
And you get out.
Yeah, you go ahead. You got it. Yep.
I'm sorry, brother.
No.
But you get out of saying that by just giving them. You didn't now filter the spirit of the scriptures that you understand into your own life, because you're applying it now. And so now I don't have to say a gift destroyeth the heart anymore. I don't have to say that. I just be like, no, thank you. I just want to make sure that my mind is, I'm just trying to find something to say, but y'all understand what I'm saying.
Salt.
You make it your own, right?
Salt.
Yeah, you use salt, exactly. You use flavor with it. So when you're applying it, some people you're gonna heal up, and you learn that with some of your mom and your family, your dad, whatever. You take this, and that, and they think, well, don't even mention that you learned this out of the Bible. Just be like, I saw this on the internet. Oh, okay. Because they'll accept it if it's not from the book, believe it or not. And they
always need some outside source to validate what the book says.
Yeah, exactly. It's never good enough. So you go, no, I've seen this on the internet. Some guy, I don't remember,
They start
but
hitting
you know in the scripture that gave it to you.
That's why they would have to be put in a life experience
Life and death.
that shows that the Bible is a living book.
Yeah.
They'll start to see, like, damn, the Bible do say that. Why couldn't I just take its word for it? It's the Most High's wisdom.
Learn the hard way.
Huh?
They gotta bump their head.
A lot of men in these last days crashing out over women. A lot of them, majority of them, wouldn't have took those routes if they knew what the Bible said.
Exactly.
Yep.
Pass.
If somebody can get 1 Corinthians 2. I know somebody had a precept, but if somebody can get that while y'all get y'all precepts. 1 Corinthians 2 and start at the top.
4 and 6, right? Okay. It's Colossians 4 and 6. It says, I'll read it in the NLT. So let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone. That's in the NLT. In the KJV it says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man, how to swing that sword. Because you're gonna use the wisdom. When you stop thinking like, well, I think, you just be like using the wisdom. Now you may still say the words I think, but you're applying the wisdom of the scriptures. And a lot of people will continue to come back to you because they like how the source of what you're reading from, until they learn it's the Bible.
Yeah. This mastering this sword is something that we should all be wanting to do. Right. Get sharper, sharper in the scriptures. because we're gonna need this sharpness. We're gonna need. Hey, we gotta sharpen each other. All right. Iron sharpeneth iron. Okay. Because we're gonna need it. And not only that, but we're also, like we always tell you, brothers, there's gonna come a time where you are gonna be teaching others. Okay. So that's a lot. That's the biggest responsibility that you could possibly have in this world. Handling the word of the Lord. Okay, that's our biggest job, and it's not a part-time job. You know, this is something that we really got to be wanting to master, and be able to handle with care. Because hey, we can cut ourselves too. Hey, you wound yourself, you know. Fuck around and shoot yourself, cheddar bob.
Hey, and not even a game. I don't know if you brothers ever handled nunchucks. Anybody ever handled nunchucks? Don't fuck up. Especially if you're going fast, one little tap somewhere will end. You will lose feeling and the nerve feeling. This book is the same way. You fuck around, try to read something, and chop your own head off, cut yourself.
Shit, you'll be stopping the video, starting over.
Hey, we done all been there though.
That's why you got. Hey, we just gotta stick to the basics. Stick to the program.
Stick to the milk.
We can't come out here thinking we gonna change this program. No, man, it's already set. Okay. We follow the leadership that was set up by Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai. Okay. We believe through the Spirit. We go and we review what's being told. We look into the scriptures. Okay? And we stick to that program and follow the blueprint. All right? We can't try to remix it. And we can't try to, we can't be looking into all these other philosophies, trying to become even, you know?
And that's why it's important to look at both aspects of this truth, man. Especially being a teacher it's a beautiful thing, it's a gift, and it's an honor to be a part of this ministry and to be able to teach, but at the same time it's scary because if you don't do it right, you can get fucked up. When you come into this, there's no way out, and you have to do it right. A lot of guys get caught up in the glory of being a teacher. I'm waking up so many people, I got this congregation and this and that, but are you being mindful of how you're teaching, how you're building? Because going back to the analogy of the sword and the nunchucks, you going too fast, you ain't focusing on the foundation, the fundamentals, you're gonna mess up. Just like with anything, any sport or any skill, if you're trying to go too fast, even if you're working out, you can be pushing 350, you can be doing this, that, and the third, but if your form ain't right, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yep. Always trying to, there's, how many times have we seen it, the Jake that tries to lift more than he should? Ends up breaking himself. Let's stick with what we know, and as we grow, we'll be able to touch on the deeper, darker mysteries of the scriptures, man. Okay, me myself, I'm a toddler. Okay, compared to some of these brothers here, man.
I got some. Ecclesiastes 9:11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. Consider, what the brother is saying. And all of us, we all have our own set measure. The Most High is who gives that measure.
Yeah.
So don't yield above the measure that was given to you. You don't take your son to tryouts and then immediately he goes straight to the tournaments.
Right.
That's not how it go. He will get bent up immediately. You get him out there on that mat, he's getting bent up every which way. They're gonna bend him up and fold him up.
Yep. You can be confident, but it's like, right?
No, go ahead.
You can be confident, but don't be overconfident. Like if you go too fast, that was the point I was gonna make.
It's all good. In a construction zone, everybody has their task. Everybody knows what their role is. you know, and you do that job the best you can. Because you expect when it comes payday, you expect to get that paycheck, right? And sometimes when you do get rewarded, when the boss sees that you're actually trying your best, you're always on time, you're always on point,
Okay.
you don't give no problems, shit, you might get promoted.
Okay, that's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's no different, man.
I got you. Romans 12:3 in the NLT. It says, because of the privilege and authority the Most High has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith the Most High has given us. Just as our bodies have many parts, and each part has a special function, so it is with Yahushai's body. We are many parts of one body, and we all belong to each other. In His grace, the Most High has given us different gifts for doing certain things well.
Okay.
So if the Most High has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as the Most High has given you.
Yeah, magnify that office.
God, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. Whatever job Lot was given unto each one of us, hey, do your best to make sure that the job is well done. Make sure that the house that we're building is going to be able to stand. Okay? Because that's what we're doing. We're building right now too. You know, we're building, and we're building upon that rock. Okay? Because we know that, hey, that storm is coming. Okay? So we want our house to be able to stand. You know? And every single one of us has to be playing a part. And none of us can boast on the other guy, on the other man. All right? We're not supposed to be puffed up with pride. And what's that word? Puffed up with just, you know, over, like a brother said, like the brother read, thinking that we're bigger than we actually are. You know, keep a humble spirit. All right. We know more than most, for sure. That's for sure. The more that greater thou art, the more humble yourself. You know, you should be.
How was I? He's king of all kings.
Right.
And he's washing feet. So that's to show you that example. He's the best example to follow, because he really could boast and do anything and everything, but he stayed low and showed them this is the way you should be, even if you have power.
True. Yeah. That's the spirit that we should be in. You know. You got some?
I was gonna quote one, but I had a scripture. You can get it, but I'm gonna quote it. It says, "Walk in wisdom to them that are without." So that's a power, knowing how to. You're not. I forgot who said it, but it was a form of righteous manipulation. It's a form of righteous manipulation because it's manipulation when you're using it for evil versus motivation if you're using it was wrong. But anyway, when you're using it for righteousness, you're using it for their benefit and not your own. So you got to be able to see how to use those, because it's a fine line. But your intent got to be right, and you got to double check your intents.
Yeah.
Now the other one I had was Sirach chapter 3 and verse. You was grabbing that?
I know I never got that Sirach to read that to you.
Oh, that's all good. Yeah. That's long ago. Verse. Start up at 18. Matter of fact, I'll start up at 17. My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. And you learning all these things, you learning prophecies, you learning, you know, the times, measuring the time and all of that, you still gotta be able to relate to people that don't understand this. And it's funny because you watch our videos, especially at Great Millstone, you watch our videos, let somebody just come off the street and try to just watch a Great Millstone video. You know all the code that's in these videos now? You know, internet code, let alone in the ministry code.
What the hell is an MOTB?
You gotta have like
micro C hip.
You gotta have
a
acronyms.
You gotta watch him with a guide and stuff. Like, okay, what did he say?
You're right.
What do they mean by Jake? What's a Jake?
What's a Jake? Now who's a Jake? What's a Jake?
What's a jab?
Yeah, what's a jab? We're talking about boxing.
Maxine Waters? What they talking about?
Yeah, they all over the place.
And that's how the scripture is written too.
But we speak it this way on purpose so they'll feel like they're on the outside. Because it's meant for the initiated on the inside. But when you're relating to people on the outside, you got to be able to relate it in the terms. That's what Paul was constantly doing that.
Plainly.
Yeah.
Speaking plainly.
Sometimes he used sports analogies. You know, it's just different, like Olympic, you know, but he used different.
Putting it in layman's terms.
Yep. Gardening and horticulture, you know, using different terms. So Yahushua as well, using those terms so people would understand. Then Yahushua also spoke them so they wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
So you have the ability, but you got to know when it is and when it ain't. He said it in front of his disciples just to throw the non-believers off, and then he went back and expounded upon it to his disciples to explain it.
Broke it down.
Well,
that's why I had somebody earlier. I called for 1 Corinthians 2.
Yeah, my fault. I didn't.
No, you get what you got, but because that goes into that.
Yeah.
Paul,
we can go with it now because it's a couple verses. I think you know where this is going.
I'm sorry, at the top.
Yeah, starting at the top.
It's 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 1. And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of the Most High. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Yahushua HaMashiach and Him crucified.
This whole chapter go actually.
And I was with you in weakness, and in fear, in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but
he wasn't using clever and persuasive language. He was just speaking basic to him. You know, he didn't try to get up there and sound like a character on Broadway. You know, on stage. You know how Nate be real animated and he sound like he's on at a Broadway play.
Like he's some great orator.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why the apostles was laughing. That's why the apostles was laughing when he put out that quill.
Oh man.
That's how he talk. Like he writes with a quill, man.
Yeah.
Like a Shakespeare play or something.
Yeah, none of that is necessary, man. Unless you're trying to attract people to yourself and not to the ministry. It doesn't. The Lord doesn't need all the antics to push His word. We out here plainly, y'all anybody that walk by, if they want to get a thorough understanding of what we're preaching, what our message is, it's simple. We break it down to them. Most of the time, they be like, okay, I didn't know this before, and now I understand it now. They might not come back after that, but
that ain't got nothing to do with what we did.
Right. But we've gotten plenty of examples where people understood because we made it plain to them.
It's beautiful because you'll see certain men in Israel, particularly of a higher understanding. You'll watch them go from answering questions to somebody real calmly. Yes, Miss Little Lady. Yeah, this is how you did it. Talking calmly and softly to her. Yeah, my nigga, you such and such, and you know, gotta cuss a wild spirit out to keep him calm, take the authority over him, so he don't come and disrupt too much. Check him, and then go back and answering an eloquent question, a deep question, you know, with eloquent speech and break down and understanding, all within a space of 10, 15 minutes. You got it, brother. That's it. You got it.
Back to the chapter. I'll start at 4 again. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power.
In a demonstration of what?
Spirit and of power.
Yeah, the power that comes of the Holy Spirit. That was what was being demonstrated. That was what was actually converting those foreigners. You know? And that's why in his epistle to the Church of Thessalonica, he said basically he thanks the Most High that they was able to receive the word not as the word of man, but as the word of the Most High in truth. You know, because the word worked effectually in them. So if the word is already working effectually in you, I shouldn't have to speak in deep mysteries. I can just speak plainly to you, and it's gonna connect to you. You know.
Verse 5. That your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of the Most High. How? Okay.
Not in the wisdom of men, but in the power of the Spirit of the Most High. That's why, like, these Christians, they can't get it through their brain. Like, it's still leaving them astonished that a lot of Christians, they come up against us, and only two things happen. They either continue to be where they at, or they actually learn something, and then they denounce that BS. And they come in and they just like the apologists and the vocabs, they marvel at the fact that even though we sound like we obviously didn't go to seminary school. We didn't get these degrees and all these credentials.
Doctors and masters in Bible studies and shit.
We didn't have to read all those additional scholarly books that they recommend that you read. We didn't go through none of the course. We didn't do none of that. But somehow these young dudes standing out on street corners in robes are pulling in a lot.